Welcome to Folios, the Meter Center presentations on items from its rare book collection. My name is Karine Mogg, and I am the director of the Meter Center. Today it's my great pleasure to share with you one of my favorite items from the Meter Center rare book collection. It is a Bible published in Antwerp in the Netherlands in 1534. Now here it is. And I'll show it to you from the side as well so you can see. It's quite a beautiful object with metal covers, corners, clasps, wood covers covered in leather. Really quite a handsome object. Now this Bible was published in 1534, as I said, in Antwerp, which is today in Belgium. And I always think of this Bible as really one of the Bibles from the turning points of the Reformation. So it appears essentially 17 years after Martin Luther's 95 Theses. It's a Bible in the vernacular, in this instance in French. It was put together by, or sort of produced by, the famous French humanist Jacques Lefebvre d'Etaples, and it is based on the Vulgate, but it is a Bible in French, in the vernacular, which ties it to the Reformation. It is also an illustrated Bible. All the way through this Bible, there are these wonderful, wonderful woodcuts. So this would have been a very expensive Bible to own in the 16th century. I want to show you some pages from within this Bible. First, by the way, be reassured. The Bible and these books from the 16th century are made with paper made from linen, from cloth. It's very sturdy. We don't need to worry about it falling apart. And so don't be panicking if I'm touching it with my fingers without gloves or anything. This paper is actually very resilient, very sturdy, and not subject to damage. So I want to start by just showing you one particular page. And here it is here. So you can get the full effect. It's a woodcut in 6 panels. And if you're trying to figure out what you're looking at, you might realize very quickly you're actually looking at a rendering of God's creation. The creation of the world in 6 panels, not in 7. On the 7th day, the Lord God is resting, and the artist does not show what God is doing at that point. And I often ask my students, well, what do you think God looks like in these pictures? And they say, well, he looks like a king. Some people tell me he looks like the Pope because of his hat. And I don't know if you can see or notice, but there's actually a cross on the hat. And I think that's a wonderful sign of the foreknowledge of God at creation. He already knows, obviously, all about Jesus and the crucifixion and so on and so forth. Now, this is quite an amazing woodcut. It's very, very beautiful. But the other thing I want to point out is the handwriting at the bottom of the page. Can you see that? Okay. This is handwriting in French, and it's handwriting from the period, from the early modern era. And it is a condemnation of the picture. So someone took the time to write in just our book, not every copy of this Bible, just in ours, and they wrote a condemnation of the picture. Not on artistic grounds, not because they thought the picture was badly done, but on theological grounds, because depicting God was against the 10 Commandments. So we know that at some point this Bible was in the hands of someone who held very strongly Reformed Protestant views, where making images of God was considered very, very problematic. And we're very fortunate the person didn't just rip the page out or deface it, but preserved their commentary in this lovely blank space. So frozen in time, we have a conversation between the artist depicting God's creation and one particular reader responding. It's absolutely fascinating. And all through this Bible, there are woodcuts of all kinds. There are biblical references in the margins. There are no verse numbers, incidentally. Verse numbers do not come into Bibles until the 1560s, and this is 1534. So I want to go right to the back of this Bible, and all the way through, as I said, there's magnificent woodcuts of all kinds. This Bible still includes the Apocrypha, as do, in fact, most early Bibles from the 16th century, the 17th century, whether Protestant or not, they carried on, including the Apocrypha, those books that are considered canonical in the Catholic Church, but not among Protestants. Here's, for instance, the book of Baruch. I want to go right to the back, however, and show you the colophon, which is where publishers really said something maybe about the process of publication or when they had published their book. And this one's quite lovely, and I'll translate it for you. It says, "Done to the glory of God. This Bible was completed on the 6th day of April. The printing was finished on the 6th day of April of the year 1534 in Antwerp by Martin l'Empereur. And his little motto, 'My hope is in Jesus.'" Quite a magnificent work.